Good afternoon. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Hi, Peter, TBS. I'm going to share my link and everything. Hey, Dave from Niagara Falls. Welcome. Let me do my thing. Post. Actually, I need two hands. I'm going to put you guys on the harness. And plus, I'm trying to keep, my bike should be okay, but you never know. Okay, hang on. I hear music over there. So we're on Bloor Street.
And then
I can't see the. I hope that's not copyright music. Okay, we'll walk while I'm just trying to set up. We're at Christie Pitts.
close down the bike lanes. Get rid of these lanes.
Wrong, you're in the wrong area. You must have voted for you know who, but I won't say. Okay, that's good enough for that. Now I want to share on X. Okay. Give me a second. So it says protest, so I copied whatever they are calling this. It's not a rally, this is a protest. Alright. Oh, it's just a live band beating drums. I don't think it's... Okay, good. I'm not sure if any reporters asked me to be on. I don't know, because they don't use the whole thing. There's like waste my breath. Where's my gloves are there.
Yeah, well, I'm not one of the organizers.
Hello, if anybody here is speaking and hasn't came and talked to us already, could you please come up to here? If anybody, is this better? Yeah?
Better, yes.
Okay, if anybody here is speaking and hasn't came up and talked to us already, then if you could please come up, that would be great. Thank you.
Right here?
Hey guys, sounds like the audio's working out. I'm Norm.
Yeah, nice to
Pleasure
meet
to
you.
meet you. Yeah, there's some folks here from the Star as well. Congratulations. This is what success looks like.
Oh, they organized it, I guess.
Hey Bill, how are you?
Hi.
It's great. I'm so glad you brought
Not
your-
yet. What is this? Oh,
Way to play baseball,
okay.
right? The Bloor bike lane was
It's quite uphill.
My name is
I don't know if you can see, but I'm not.
Well, about 20 years ago, me and some friends began a campaign for the lake.
Oh, we got the police here. I think this might be a good, huge turnout. We hope.
spanning the length of the city along the Bloor Danforth. And that campaign began in earnest in 2005 and started organizing bike rallies. And by the, I think it was by about, I'm not sure the exact date, but
That's great. Well,
2016
thank you.
maybe.
E-bikes are the future, my friend, and the present. Amen.
Along Danforth, and it's now I think like 24 kilometers along the route. And it's a safe space for cyclists and bikers.
And also like more university
That's right. I ran the Hands Up Hands campaign, and I ran like the Stop Crawl campaign.
Bike is here. Let me say hello to everyone.
Imagine you wake up one fine day and you watch the bike here.
Hi. Very deeply.
All right. Hi, Peter, TBS, Ryan, Dave from Niagara Falls. Welcome. Please share on your, if you have X, Twitter, whatever, share. Get this message across. More CBC. Find a spot for my keys.
Oh yeah.
Want some more information on builds?
Hey, I got my vest on today, even though I don't need it right now, but if I'm out later, it's gonna be better at night. But welcome. We need to fight for the bike lanes. We need it. It's ridiculous. How come in Europe it works, and Europeans, they have amazing bike lanes there. We got to learn from the places that welcome bike lanes. Remember, it's just a matter of adapting, right? Maybe I don't need my vest on. They're going to think I'm probably the organizer, so I'm going to take off my vest. I don't want it on. More CBC news. My thing is all full because I have my Fuji camera with me, just in case I want to take pictures, and I'll shove it in here.
Yeah, I have a flat tire.
Tie my hair tighter.
It's a good. I got a bike too. It's broken though. You'll be here soon.
Wow, good turnout. They're coming out.
Thanks, buddy. All right, I'm gonna keep walking around. Good.
Wonder if I'll see any familiar faces. I don't think so. It's amazing. I don't see a lot, like, yeah, only the last time, like at the Queen's Park.
Yeah, bring my bike. Well, you can carry it on the back.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe. I'll use it as a letter. They should. Take the favorites for here. They should.
That's so good.
And I got a bunch, if you're interested, there's a bunch of like safety pins that people put on the books.
You come out and grommets and everything's done already.
Yeah, man.
Oh, these are the signs.
Oh my gosh, take as many as you please. Here, guys.
They should be well shared.
There's also all these. And I don't know if there's like a good start. I might just do this.
Hey, Sanford.
And markers and safety pins. Oh, you guys, tell us. You can read if you wanna.
Okay, hello. Can everybody hear me? Can you guys hear? Okay, I just want to encourage the people who are a little bit further out to maybe come in a bit. I know there's this nice green circle that we don't want to walk on, but it might be a bit easier to hear if people come forward. Thank you. Okay, hello. Thank
Hilarious.
you everybody for coming out. And then do you want to say a little bit about the plan for today?
Hi, so my name's Eva. This is Zeb.
Taylor's.
There's a lot of congestion, you know. We should do something about that.
Right?
Getting serious about the issues.
Right.
That's what
I
I'm
know. Cray.
Tay going go cray cray.
Did you do one that says buck a beer?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you all.
Amazing.
We're going to give a short speech, and then we're going to have our speakers come up. And okay, so do you want to start, Eva?
Okay, so we are two students at the University
Stanford,
of Toronto.
ride your bike
who
over
bike to
here.
school every single day. At least so far. Hopefully we don't succumb to the Ontario winter. We, like so many other students, don't own cars. And biking is our best option from getting where we live to where we learn. Every single day, I get to school on Bloor. I bike along the Bloor bike lane, and I see these bike lanes packed with other bikers. Given how much these bikeways have given me access to the city, I am confident that the city's plan in the next 3 years to build 100 kilometers of new bike lanes would have opened up the city to many others. However, with the proposed Bill 212 set to prevent the construction of new bike lanes and tear up the existing ones, it seems unclear that this future will ever exist.
Okay, so this worry that instead of building new bike lanes, the
I'm
city
at
and
Christie
really the
Pitts.
province is about to rip up existing ones, is the reason why we started Fight for Bikes and decided to organize this protest. What we want to do with this organization is offer real things that anybody can do to fight against Bill 212. To be a united front, it's really important that we are unanimous as bikers about how we frame the battle for safe bike lanes. The issue of bike lanes really isn't and shouldn't be about left versus right or about people who bike versus people who drive. Currently, there is a really dangerous effort to frame the issue in terms of us versus them, and this is just not productive or true. For many people, driving is the best way to get around, just as for everyone here, or for many of us here, biking is the only or most viable option. If we want them to understand our needs to be on the road, we should understand theirs. The real issue is that many of the people who are driving don't have access to other options. The city's biking network is very fractured and far from connected, and in many parts of the city, taking transit can be unrealistic, especially outside of the downtown core. What everyone can benefit from is more options. We should all be able to bike or take transit to get from one part of the city to another, and to build this future, we are going to need to build more bike lanes.
Itself. With the government planning to move away from bike lanes, the only way to ensure greater access to the city for all is to fight this together. We are not going to stop with this one protest. During our amazing speakers' talks, we will be coming around and talking to each of you to ask if you'd be interested in helping us with future events. If we aren't able to talk to you, please send us an email or message us on Instagram. We want all the help we can get.
Thank you all for coming out. We've talked a lot about the future that we want to see the city build, and now it's time to hear from some of the people who have been part of the fight for much longer than us. First up, I want Jessica Bell, the MVP for University of Rosedale, to give a speech.
Okay, can we please give it up for Zev and Eva? This is the first round of organized. Thank you to all of you for coming out and showing your support. I'm going to use my time to talk about something that's a little serious. I'm going to read a letter from Karen, who is Alex's mum. Alex, and this letter Karen wrote to Premier Ford last week, and I read it out in the legislature. And this is what it says. Our daughter, Alex Samara, was killed on her bike as she left Dufferin Mall December 2nd, 2020. And as a parent, I bet Karen is never, ever going to forget that day. Alex was 23. Like a lot of city kids, she didn't have a driver's license. Her bike was her ride. There are no words to describe, the everlasting, devastating heartbreak of living with such sudden tragic loss, especially knowing that it was preventable. Guaranteed that if either of you or anyone within Ontario's Legislative Assembly lost a family member or close friend so tragically while cycling city streets, this pre-election push to restrict bike lanes within Toronto's and other municipalities would not be on the table. She says, Minister Sikoria, he's our Minister of Transportation. You say that this bike lane legislation is about giving people more time with their families. Well, our family would give anything to have more time with Alex, to hug her, to speak with her, to celebrate holidays and life milestones, and to see what a difference she would be making in this world today. They are hard words to hear. Please drop, and I think we can all agree with this, please drop this aggressive attack on cyclists and turn your attention to delivering action on other areas that are your responsibility, like affordable housing. What about healthcare? What about education? If this government is actually serious about addressing congestion, it would improve public transit. initiative to fight like hell to make sure our streets are safe for everyone, and I look forward to organizing with you to stop this.
Thank you so much, Jessica Bell, for those amazing words. We would now like to welcome up Singh, an amazing doctor advocating for bike lanes on University.
Thank you very much. I've been biking since I was a student at University of Toronto and graduated 2007. And I must say I have a vehicle, but I choose not to use it unless I really am forced to. Exactly. As an oncologist at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, there's truly an obesity epidemic that drives a cancer epidemic. And we know that healthy living, including physical activity, is key to combating this. And bike lanes are such an important part of that. I work at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center looking after my cancer patients, but I also have a practice at Hospital for Sick Children, Toronto Western Hospital, and St. Michael's Hospital. And the easiest way to get around there between the sites so I can see my patients quickly, reduce wait times, and improve access, is it by car? No! Is it by Lyft or Uber? No! Is it by bike? Last week, I had to see patients across those different downtown hospitals, and I was getting around by bicycle so I can deliver timely care to the patients who need it. I think it's key for every Ontarian to remember that bike lanes are not exclusively used by elite spandex-wearing road bikers. The person in that bike lane who's trying to get to work or see their patients or get home to their families could be your doctor. They could be your PSW, personal support worker. They could be your DoorDash delivery person so that you get your meal hot and on time. They could be your nurse. They could be your child's teacher. They could be your child. And it is key for us to remember that bike lanes are for all of Ontarians to improve mobility in the city and really minimize deaths. How many people does it take to get hurt before this becomes an important issue that we remember bike lanes are for everyone? So thank you for having me here. Thank you to all of you for showing up, and keep using those bike lanes.
Okay, thank you so much, Derek. Next up, we have Norman Pasquali, who is the federal NDP candidate and a biking enthusiast.
All right, let's kick this off with a chant. Save our bike lanes!
Save our bike lanes! Save our bike lanes!
Save our bike lanes!
Save our bike lanes!
Save our bike lanes! Save our bike lanes! Save our bike lanes! You guys sound awesome! Love it! And I love hearing all the bells. I keep wanting to run and get ice cream. My name's Norman Pasquali. I'm the federal NDP candidate for Spadina Harbourfront. And I don't know if you all know, but the leader of the federal NDP, Jagmeet Singh, had a blind date with a certain Premier Doug Ford.
Oh.
Now,
who paid for the who paid for the date?
The amount of patience he has. Can you imagine having to get through a blind date with Doug Ford? I'm so sorry, Jagmeet, but thank you for doing it. As part of that blind date, Jagmeet Singh took Doug Ford on Toronto streets as a cyclist to understand what it's like for a cyclist like us having to navigate the streets that we have here. So we took him on a protected bike lane first, and Doug was like, oh yeah, I feel pretty safe over here, this is nice. And then he took him on another road where there was just a bit of paint, and he was kind of like, this seems a little dangerous, and he started calling bicycles things like death machines. And then the craziest part of all, he took him on Bloor before the bike lane was in there, and there were cars that were honking behind them and then dangerously driving around them, and he was just like, oh man, you don't feel safe when there's no bike lanes here, Doug said. It's almost like for a moment, two electrodes connected in his brain, and he momentarily understood. And then they short-circuited, and here we are today, folks. What an absolute shame. as I mentioned, and this blind date with Doug Ford, I have it on my Twitter account. Go check out Norm's World Blind Date to watch the entire thing and see the moment where maybe Doug Ford momentarily got it before he lost it again. Now he called bikes death machines. So he is willingly sacrificing each and every one of you to try to get himself reelected. Are we going to stand for that? No. Hell no.
Cars are the death machines.
Exactly. I mean, you know, us versus a two-tongue hunk of steel, we need protection. I'm so glad to see a doctor here because it was doctors and healthcare workers who asked for the university bike lanes. So thank you. Doctors both understand that bike lanes save lives and it's a great, easy way to get to work. You know, so it was something that we did for healthcare workers during the pandemic. And it's an amazing bike lane. It is my favorite way to go to Queen's Park and give Doug Ford hell. You know, on Ontario Place, I'm also the co-chair of Ontario Place for All. And Doug Ford waived the environmental assessment. He waived the Environmental Bill of Rights. And he's doing it. Boo! He's doing this again on Bill 212. He's waiving the environmental assessment for Highway 413, for the removal of these bike lanes. He's waiving our Environmental Bill of Rights. I'm sorry, protecting the planet is not optional for our leaders.
Follow the money.
You know, really, Doug Ford governs like climate change doesn't exist. Like just making it cheaper and easier to drive and harder and more deadlier to bike. What kind of leadership is this? Leadership isn't pandering. So November 13th, this issue is going to City Hall, and Mayor Olivia Chow has signaled that she is willing to fight the provincial government on this issue. I've got some flyers here that give you a bit more information on how to email Olivia Chow, but let's send her our support so she feels strong and that she can fight back against Doug Ford and save our bike lanes with us. So this is one of my flyers for my federal campaign, and I was doing a press conference with Jagmeet Singh on the waterfront, and a cyclist came over and we had the most lovely conversation, and it became the cover of my flyer. Who knew that this was going to be a radical act? Talking to a cyclist on the Queen's Quay, because that is a bike lane that took away a lane of road. And guess what? If you ask Doug Ford now for that kind of bike lane, he's going to tell you no. We have to fight this. Not only is Doug Ford going to tell you no, but he's going to posterize your municipality for asking. So Doug Ford's bringing in red tape to all 444 municipalities of Ontario. We got to tell them all, and we got to tell them to stand up and fight against this terrible overreach into 444 municipalities across this province. And, you know, as a final point, a bit of my story, I was a car driver till 2015 when safe bike lanes started to appear on Simcoe, Richmond, Queen's Quay, and I felt safe enough to retire the car forever. And I've been a cyclist. I've been a cyclist for 9 years, and Bike Share is my bike. So just remind, you know, if you have friends who don't, you know, who support this bike lane rip out, just tell them, I'm going to be another car back on the street adding to your traffic. Is that what you want?
Exactly.
No, I don't think it is. So let's wrap it up with a save our bike lane, save our bike lane,
Save our bike lane, save our bike lane, save our bike lane, save our bike lanes.
Thank you all. You're all totally awesome. Thank you to you. The grassroots is how we win these fights.
Thank you so much, Norman, for those amazing words. We're now going to hear from Robert Zakowski, a local leader in the Toronto Community Bikeway Coalition.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let's thank 7 Ava for putting together this awesome rally. And to the other speakers that spoke so far. Okay. Yeah, so for those who aren't aware, the Toronto Community Bikeways Coalition was founded early during the COVID-19 pandemic. So our group, we founded during the pandemic, we called for temporary bike lanes along subway lines and busy suburban bus routes to help essential workers get around. Today, our group is focused on holding City Hall accountable to their road safety and climate goals, amplifying community voices, providing policy solutions, and hosting fun events like the Cycle Good Cheer Ride, which will happen again next month. Woo! and one bikeway that's been really important to our group is Bloor Street, of which We Belong on Bloor has been our latest campaign. And let me tell you, a lot of work goes into making bikeways such as on Bloor a reality. I'm talking about hosting mass rides like Bells on Bloor, which Albert Cole started up, distributing postcards within the neighborhoods, canvassing businesses and community groups to get their support, getting people to sign petitions, attending public consultations, writing City Hall, showing up to speak at City Hall, and my personal favorite, doing bike counts to show how successful the bike lanes have become. However, you cannot count success by the number of cyclists alone. And as Derek already mentioned, the bikeway has made cycling a lot more mainstream. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so as I was saying, one thing bike lanes on Bloor have done is to make cycling a lot more mainstream, as Derek had already mentioned. And this would not have been possible without all of you and groups such as TCBC, Cycle Toronto, Young for All, Friends and Families for Safe Streets, David Suzuki Foundation, Toronto East Cyclists for Folks in Scarborough, and so many others. However, despite this big tent of support, despite the successes, and despite the fact that there have been calls for bike lanes on Bloor for almost 50 years, Doug Ford wants to throw all of that out the window. And worse still, he announces it in the year when Toronto had a record number of cyclists killed, 6 this year alone. I know. And one thing we need to recognize is road safety is not a partisan issue. There are people out here who vote conservative, who do bike, and who do support making our streets safer for all road users. But since Doug Ford insists on making this a partisan issue, along with all the other screw-ups he's done, whether it's Ontario Place, Highway 413, the Greenbelt, or our healthcare system, the We Safe Street supporters have the moral obligation to vote Ford out of office! And especially in Scarborough, and Etobicoke, North York, and the 905, where a lot of the progressive conservative seats currently are. So I'll conclude with one point in which saving lives is a lot more important than saving time, which this legislation may not end up doing, by the way.
It's not.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Zay Kurum, who is the transit lead with the Toronto Youth Cabinet.
Before I start, I just want to give Zev and Ava a very big thank you for organizing this. They're students. Let's give them a round of applause, folks. So when I first heard about Bill 212, I was horrified, much like many of you. This is a bill which will make it much harder for people to get around and much more dangerous for people in this city. I personally had a job this summer where I had to bike across Toronto, from Scarborough to Etobicoke. It was, I spent a lot of time on the Bloor Downforth bike lanes. They were much faster than the TDC and way faster than if you were to drive. But most importantly, I felt like I had a right to be there. I felt safe. There was once when I had to bike down Royal York in Etobicoke, and although it has painted bike lanes, it felt more like a highway, with all the cars zipping by me with barely enough space for me to pass by. And let me tell you, I have never felt more scared for my life. And I can't imagine how different my experience would have been if there were no bike lanes at all. Bike lanes, especially protected and separated bike lanes, make all the difference. It keeps us safe. And it allows us to ride with dignity and respect. So I'm the transit lead for the Toronto Youth Cabinet. We're an organization based out of City Hall, established in 1998. And we're Toronto's official youth advocacy body. Over the years, we've advocated and achieved major advances for youth, and including pushing for free menstrual products across Ontario schools, pushing for new youth hubs, and additional funding for youth violence prevention programs. But I'm specifically here today because we have to protect the bike lanes in our amazing city, especially the Yonge, University, and Bloor lanes, which are most arguably the most used in the city. Honestly, I'm flabbergasted by how the province is trying to take control of our city plans and, telling us how to construct safe infrastructure for us cyclists. Removing bike lanes, as we know, will not reduce congestion and will only lead to people getting hurt. And the figure that the province is using is not representative of our city and is intentionally misleading to gain the trust of drivers and support of drivers. And as a city that the province says is experiencing major congestion issues, limiting how we as Torontonians get around will only put more pressure on the existing traffic network, and it solves nothing and will only making getting around the city even worse. Now this is not just an issue for the downtown core. This is a city-wide issue and a provincial-wide issue, which will impact a ton of young people. I'm afraid that all the efforts that we've done towards creating a safe and accessible bike culture for the city will have been all for nothing. As youth, many of us can't drive, pushing us to find other ways to get around. So many of us can't drive, so that forces us to find other ways to get around, cycling being most popular. But how can we expect young people of the city to get around if we don't provide the adequate infrastructure for them to get around? This bill poses a major equity issue for all the youth in the city who can't drive or for the high costs associated with owning a car. It limits how youth can get to school, get to work, or simply just hanging out with their friends. 6 people have been killed riding their bikes this year in Toronto. We cannot afford to lose another rider.
One is too many.
One is too many. One more is too many. But seeing everyone out here today, especially us fellow youth, it gives me hope that it's not too late, but we can't lose the momentum. Now is the time to give it our all and to fight for our basic human rights to get around the city with dignity and respect. So let's tell Doug Ford to stay in his own dang lane and stop interfering with our bikes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zane. That was amazing. Now we would like to introduce Phil Pothen from Environmental Defense.
Hey everyone, my name is Phil Pothen and I'm the Lawyer and Land Use Program Manager and Ontario Environment Program Manager with the national charity Environmental Defense. If you've seen those signs that say Stop 413 or Hands Off Our Farms, Forests and Wetlands or Hands Off the Greenbelt, well, all of those came from a great big pile next to my desk. So as with virtually every part of the Ontario government's sprawl, highways, and car dependency agenda, the government's attack on this city's safe cycling infrastructure is not about a good faith difference of opinion. We know that this policy did not arise from a civil servant proposing a way to speed up traffic flow. We really know, I can't explain why, but we know for a fact that was not the civil service's advice. It's also not a matter of the Premier or Transport Minister personally being ignorant. They know very well that this is going to make traffic worse, not better. Just like with the 413, just like with the government's opium dream 60-kilometer tunnel proposal, with Bill 212, the Ontario government is intentionally pushing a solution, quote unquote, that it knows will make the problem worse. And in this case, they're doing it, and this is the tricky part, they're doing it almost entirely to provoke a fight with us. They have decided to pick a fight with a group of voters that they have written off, but which their base and many suburban swing voters caricature and frankly dislike. And to provoke us into lashing out in a way that makes us seem to fit that caricature. In this case, to frame the issues as motorists or drivers versus cyclists, about an idealistic or naive vision of the future versus, being realistic and accepting the reality of how normal people have to get around, between the safety of people who are choosing to cycle because it's fun or for ideological reasons, and the convenience of quote-unquote ordinary people just trying to get by. And because they've chosen this, because that fight, framed that way, sad as it is a political winner for the Premier. The Premier is right about that. And all of this, the reason they're picking this fight is to distract the voters that the Premier hasn't written off, that the Premier can't afford to lose, from the government's outright betrayal on the issues that do matter to them. This bill was dreamed up at precisely the moment that the government's web of lies about housing supply is being cut to shreds. Everything they have done for the past 3 years, they've done because they want to quote-unquote build 1.5 million homes. Well, it's no surprise that last Friday was the day that they had to admit that their policies had actually reduced housing output. We're getting fewer homes. That was a deadly story for them because so many of their voters care about that issue more than anything else. They had to admit that there is no hope under their policies of delivering 1.5 million homes by 2031. Sorry. So it's also no accident that this bill, the bike lane provisions that would allow the government to block bike lanes, the regulations that would remove bike lanes, they are packaged together with provisions that still ask the public to let them double down on the approach that's blocked housing. So they have picked this fight so that they don't have the fight, so that no one notices the fight that they want to avoid. And so this, unfortunately for them, this fight between people like us who look like us and the government is a fight the government wants and they think they can win. The good news is that we at Environmental Defense know how to win a fight like that. We won the fight to save the Greenbelt. The Premier wanted the fight to save the Greenbelt to be between a bunch of granola hippies who wanted to save wildlife and save the forest and who like hiking, and people who just want a home. That's exactly the kind of fight that they're trying to frame here. But we won it. And you know how we won it? We refused to give them the kind of fight that they wanted to have. We refused to let the fight be framed as nature versus housing. And what the key underlying point was our whole point, the point that we said, much as we do love the environment, we're an environmental NGO, you would rarely hear me say that we need to protect wildlife, we need to balance environmental values against housing. We simply said carving land out of the Greenbelt will mean fewer homes slower. It was true, we were proven right. We simply said more sprawl means fewer, more expensive homes. And if you just care about getting more homes built, even if you don't like animals, if you don't care about habitat, if you'd be perfectly happy
to see every endangered species wiped out, this is still bad policy for you because it's bad for the things you care about. And so there are lessons in that for how we talk about this bike lanes issue. This whole fight, the government wants it to be a fight between their caricature of cyclists, with hobbyists or environmental idealists or
Granola
hippies, sweaty, yuppie, adrenaline junkies, decked out in sunglasses and lycra hot pants and a racing jersey, who feel superior because they're fit and spent, he hasn't seen me, and spent $3,000 on a carbon fiber racing bike and want to use the road as their own private gym. That's the view that they want. And they're saying, well, okay, if you say you want it to be safe to have your morning workout on the road, that's a losing fight. But what we need to focus on is the fight that they can't win. Number one, there is no way to move all the goods that need to be moved around the city today without the backbone of the good delivery system that those protected bike lanes have become. All of those Uber Eats drivers or FedEx delivery people, those are not people who should be discounted from the debate about cycling. Those are the reason why we need bike lanes. We need to reach a population of 4.5 million in the city of Toronto by 2051. That cannot happen without shifting most of the deliveries that have historically happened by van to small, compact modes of transportation. Right now, the only reason things work now is because we do have the bike lane. So that's number one.
Yes.
The number two is that the person who is most reliant on the bike lane is not someone like me. And much as I love to talk about how the fact I was able to bike to my job as a lawyer, I was able to bike to make submissions at Queen's Park, I biked to court on my from Crescent Town area to downtown every week over the past year, despite the supposed frigid weather. That's not what I would foreground. But what I do foreground is the fact that cycling is how you get to a construction work site early in the morning before transit has started, when you're not on the subway line. That's the person who will get killed if you rip out these protected bike lanes. And a protected bike lane is how you get home from work at a late-nighting dishwashing job. That's the person who's going to get killed if you rip out these bike lanes. It is not the caricature that they have. And the third argument that I encourage folks to make is around housing. The government is already getting its knees kicked out and more on the housing issue. The one issue that they pinned everything on over the past 3 years, they are being utterly discredited on. They are, by the end by 2031, they're still going to be producing half the homes that they said they would be producing each year with their policies. And unfortunately, blocking bike lanes and ripping out the ones we have are going to kill thousands and thousands and thousands of units of housing. Because my work as Land Development Program Manager of Environmental Defense shows that one of the main barriers to building housing at all is the fact that we have to include parking. Parking adds more than $100,000, even not factoring other elements, to the cost of each unit, and it makes most of the development sites in the city that if we have to include parking, buildings that would be viable to build, apartment buildings that would be viable to build, become inviable if you have to include parking on them. So the great thing, and I want a big cheer for this, Mayor Chow and the council before Mayor Chow, they have removed the minimum parking requirement. So a big cheer for that. That means we are not forcing builders to include parking anymore. But the reality is, if in large parts of the city, there is no safe last mile solution other than driving, it's still not going to be viable to build these apartments without parking. So that really means that if you're worried about getting priced out of Toronto, a big part of that
Is that you? Once upon a... Hi. Good, I'm live streaming. You want to say hi? Give yourself a plug.
They ripped out the bike lane.
Look who's here. What's your channel name?
Out and about.
But what's your channel name?
Once Upon a City.
Good to see you.
Without expanding our bike lane network because we can't build enough parking. So, after speakers like Norm or Jessica Bell here who are very exciting, I always find I'm the guy who makes things boring. But everyone in this crowd, you're already the converted. So I don't need to tell you to save the bike lanes. I don't need to tell you that it's a threat to our safety. But what I'm trying to do is say these are the smart arguments to make. This is what you say
Here's
to your
my card.
cousin, your mom, your brother,
Good to
your
see you.
coworker who is not a cyclist. Don't talk about, you talk about by all means how you depend on bikes to get your kids to hockey, as I do, to get them to racquetball, tennis. I've got 3 kids without a car because the bike lanes exist. But talk about how it will affect their lives and the problems they care about. Thanks, so, and here's the thing. If you do that, if you don't take the easy bait, if you don't give them the fight that they want to have, then you can win. And we know that. We know that because we did win. Remember, they had already ripped land out of the green belt when we got those signs out of the line. It wasn't like they were proposing it and we stopped them. No, they ignored us first. They ripped out land from the green belt. And after a year of crowing about it and bragging about it and talking as if it was an inevitability.
Who's whining?
Oh yeah, we ripped it out. We made them back down. They had to eat crow. They frog marched the premier's own caucus, frog marched the premier to the mic and forced him to reverse that policy. If you make the right arguments, if we make the right arguments on this issue,
that's
we can
another guy.
accomplish the same
What's
thing.
his name?
Okay, thank you so much to all of our amazing speakers. That was the last speech, so thank you all for listening to that. That was amazing.
We weren't, sorry if you can't hear me, it's at max volume, but we weren't able to come around and talk to everyone because so many people showed up, more than we could have dreamed of. But really, really seriously, if you are interested in helping us in future action, please go to our website and we have an email address and just send us an email or text us on Instagram. We really want to get as many people involved as we can. Fightforbikes.org.
And our Gmail is fightforbikesto@gmail.com. So email us. Okay, so next we're gonna be biking east along Bloor towards Young, using these amazing bike lanes that we have while we can, and fighting to keep them.
And we'll also be in the streets. Yeah, the police are going to be blocking intersections for us, so just keep on going through. And if you're here without a bike, we really encourage you to shop at some of the local businesses, support the area, and show that biking is good for business.
Community effort. So all of you are doing so much amazing work just by showing up. Okay, so let's ride! Thank
you! Once upon a city. Sally. Okay. That was one. Yeah, I just said hello to Once Upon a City. Awesome. I'm going to give this young my card.
We should get ahead of it. So instead of us, why do they keep putting these speakers upside down? Speakers upside down.
Wow. Helen, how are you doing? Downtown? Well, that was.
Thank you so much. Hey, I was just going to say thanks for doing this. It's fabulous. Like this kind of turns.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Right? You're doing a great job.
Hey, thank you so much for organizing
Thank
this.
you
Because
for coming.
I actually just came back from Europe, and Vienna, they really invested in public transit with the bicycles. Like, it was because when I came back from Toronto, I was like, we are so far behind, especially with all. Like, there's no way Vienna would consider ripping up bike lanes, and there's no traffic at all there. They're the same population as us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing
Thank you for coming.
On a technical note, I know that a lot of people were shouting about the speaker. It doesn't seem like it's the highest powered one. If you get in touch with either the Neon Riders or Bike Party, these are rides where they have super powered speakers playing loud music all night. One of them probably has like a high powered.
Yeah, I just rented this. I had no idea what I was doing, so
There's people who spend hundreds on those and take them on bike rides, and you can hear them clear across the block.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Love to
overwhelming with a lot of people coming to you, but you're awesome. Thank you for organizing this. So, one, I have about $2,000 of my own money to put towards this cause because I really believe it. So I just want to grab your attention to that.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah. So, one. The argument by the environmental developer is the same one that I've been trying to make to everybody in my network, and I want to put that kind of coalition together. So I was emailing you. My name is Rutchett. I just want you to remember that this was.
You're there. I'm there. There you
Hi.
go.
Eva. Thank you, Eva.
Just thanks for organizing. I'm live streaming on YouTube.
Great,
I'm gonna say hi. Here's my card, and my email's there. Connect.
Awesome. Yes.
Send me some stuff. And I'll cover it.
Sure Cycle Toronto will organize.
All right. Let's go.
I got this in Montreal. Who knew it'd be so radical? We're ready to go, brother.
All right. Get my helmet on.
Shut the hell up, man.
We don't want to pose ourselves against.
Maybe I can help and volunteer next time with something. I don't know. But all right. Let's stop in traffic. We just stopped traffic. Bike protest, and we are stopping traffic right now on Bloor Street West. We're exiting Christie Pitts Park here, and we're gonna ride east on Bloor Street to Yonge, I believe they said. Sorry, I'm just pre-recording a little bit too. All right, oh, maybe I should take a picture of this. All right. I wonder how many are out here today. Blame this on Doug Ford. If he wasn't threatening to rip up the bike lanes, we wouldn't have to protest, would we? This is Doug Ford's fault. This is Doug Ford's fault. If he didn't threaten us, we wouldn't be out here, right? Blame it on Doug Ford. Hi, let's give them away. Huh? Yeah. Wow, look at that.
Now think about it, if all of us were in cars, where would we park? There's no parking around here.
We are a sea of cyclists. Whoops, sorry. Oh. I'm trying to get this moving. Whoa. I hope the angle is good. Let me know, guys. Blame this. I wonder who has a drone. This would be awesome footage if you had a drone. Oh, there's one with a little doggy. Oh, I was like, what's going on? Woo! Let's go. Whoa, I got my belt, holding on to my belt here. Yeah, I'm gonna fix my shirt. I don't know what my angle's like. Uh-oh. Well, I can't move. They were like fender to fender. I don't know, wheel to wheel. Maybe I should. They're moving better on the bike lane in here.
That, I think, illustrates the point.
Okay. I'm gonna pull over. I want to record a little bit of this on my other phone. I mean, we're...
North of my neighborhood.
Hey.
Other than that,
I mean, it's always a good sign.
Okay. And this is Korean Town or Koreatown.
Yeah, you know where Thomas Beach is? The hill
Oh, I know this guy. Spencer, I think this is Spencer. Spencer? No, I can't. I think we met this guy at the Ghost Bike Rally. I think that's his name, Spencer, I believe. Hey, you.
I was going to message you to see if you were
Oh, I'm live streaming right now.
Awesome.
Yep, I try to get to all of them now. This one's well organized, I think. And there were 2 young speakers organizing it.
We couldn't hear any of the speakers.
Yeah, well, this is their first, right? So they'll learn to get more speakers, yeah. Where were you? I was right there.
I was probably from here to the edge of the middle of those cars away.
Oh,
So we were
okay.
just ringing our bells anyway.
Ah.
Yeah, sure. We don't know what to say, but yay.
Right on.
But I don't know. I was figuring it's at least a couple hundred people had to be on.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't make it because I was working. I couldn't make it to the Queen's Park rally.
Oh.
I don't know how many numbers were at that. I saw your clip that you had.
Yeah.
Did they air that actually?
Yeah, but a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad I live streamed it, so I got the full.
They take it out of context.
Yeah.
Well, I find CP24 is very right-wing anyway. It's the video version of Thomas.
But this one was CBC.
Yeah, I know. I never saw that.
Ah. Did you watch the full clip?
On
YouTube?
On yours,
Yeah. And I think he purposely put the mic right there in my lens. But it was good.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And then the actual clip, they just used...
But you know what? I think...
Did you watch the news clip?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's really like a second.
30 seconds.
Yeah. Like, where's the rest?
You know what? This rally, we should be doing this from the other side of the bike lanes, out of Bloor West or in Fort Nation, because those are the people that don't want the bike lanes.
Sorry.
I'm saying like this rally would be more effective if we were going the
Like
other way.
Bloor West Village?
Going to a Tobic, going west of there. Like
Right.
Into the heart of Fordland.
Yeah.
Like go out to Islington and Bloor.
Yeah.
Because those are the people who need to see it. We're preaching to the choir. Like that's my problem. I find
Isn't he wanting to get rid of all of this?
Oh yeah, but the reality is though that most people that want to get rid of them don't live in this area. They live out in the other part where the new lanes are.
Well, it's a start. We're gonna keep hopefully.
Well, the optics is good. But the bill's going to get passed regardless.
Yeah.
And then when you see the gridlock doesn't improve after they rip out the bike lane.
Yeah, and another expense, right? Let's hope it doesn't go through.
Well, I would hope it's not, but they don't have the numbers against them to stop it. They know that, and they also know that we're not voting for it anyway, so they can rip them out and it won't impact their voter number at all. Because nobody that votes for it is giving a shit about this.
Right, okay.
Like, it's not even a calculated risk. He just knows he can do it. He's not going to take a lot of political damage for it. Because most of his voters don't care. They're not even downtown. But if you want to tell me 20 kilometers of bike lanes is why we've got gridlock, that's what
Copyright music. Copyright music.
Yeah.
That's my enemy. Yeah, you should check out I have a lot of, before I didn't want to just be biking all the time, but now it's more, that's what I do.
I think you were walking.
Oh, I do both, but now it's and I'm catching up on 2 years ago, my GoPro, some GoPro footage.
Yeah,
and I'm showing the change.
It's decided difference in quality.
What, the GoPro?
Yeah, from your other cameras to now.
Well, I live stream on 720p, and if I pre-record, it's 1080p.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, of course there's a difference, but I think
how long is your battery life last?
Well, I have 2 battery packs on me, so I can stream 6-8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, I go for the whole day. Like today, after this, I'll do another stream. I'm gonna go maybe grab food, that sort of thing. Yeah.
How did you get out to Zay? I saw that one. That's old.
Get out to where?
That airport diner.
Oh, I took the transit. I took the, yeah.
That's a hell of a bike ride.
Yeah, actually I wouldn't. I have bike ride out to the Eglinton Cross.
Yeah.
And then I locked my bike up, and then I walked from there, the west part of it.
Okay.
And then I got to, I forget even which one, whatever. And I go, oh, this is where.
Well, you can bike Eglinton all the way out to Rathburn.
Yeah, I just realized I could bike it.
That bike path?
Yeah.
You can get it right from the Humber Valley trails.
Yeah, I could probably bike it. It's just.
There's the Etobicoke Creek Trail that eventually you can find your way up.
Yeah.
You can ride all the way up to Brampton through the Humber Valley trails, right up behind Humber Valley North.
I can bike all that, but I won't be able to. Some of the areas, the pockets signal wouldn't be good for streaming. He's trying to get his delivery going.
That's the food delivery guys that are almost killing me on a daily basis.
Yeah, I've biked out to, so far the furthest I've gone east was Scarborough Bluffs.
What route did you take along the water?
Yeah. Yeah, whatever path. Yeah. And there's a good restaurant there.
Yeah, what restaurant?
Well, it's their concession stand, and then they took over the restaurants there too. What's it called? Curbside Dog.
Okay.
The best poutine, I'm telling you. The best poutine. And burgers, everything. I've tried their burger. Their chicken sandwiches are good. Oh, we gotta keep going. Let's go. And then the furthest west, I've cycled out to a DJI store out there in Mississauga, and that was a challenge. It's all on video too. That was a challenge because there's no bike lanes around there. Like it's all, yeah. And then there's all like, look at this wide street. My thing is like these wide sidewalks could be made into a shared bike lane and pedestrian. Give back the motorists the road. And the city should be looking at all wide sidewalks. The ugly planters, get rid of them. They're useless. I guess, right? And make them replace it with a bike lane. And then the university, we should be cycling down University, aren't we? No? Yeah, I heard that we're just going to Young.
Is it ending? I thought it ended at Young.
Yeah, we're ending it at Young, but.
So I sent some video clips to David Sheldon of that cop from the Ghost Bike ride.
Oh yeah.
Met you? And I don't know where anything's gone with all that stuff.
You got to keep following it up. Oh yeah. Well, I have it all on video myself. Wait. Watch. Yeah, so cycling, and then actually coming back when I was checking out the Eglinton Cross town, but the west side, and I cycled down Black Creek Drive. I used the side. Yeah, but I use the sidewalk.
I was gonna say, like, that's the freaking.
I know there's no. Right? But I use the sidewalk. I didn't care. It's all in my video. I'm gonna submit it. Yeah, I'm gonna request. I even said in the video because it's a sidewalk, and both sides had green grass on a sidewalk. Like what?
It's the same up in the Birds.
So
if you look
stupid.
At, like, Shepherd and all those roads up in Willowdale.
Yeah.
They have wide grass boulevards like this.
Right.
And there'll be a sidewalk, and then from the sidewalk
nobody's
to the
walking.
road, it's just grass.
Right.
Why not do like they did on Eglinton West, like where you
Yeah.
go towards the airport and have the pass the bike.
Okay, let's go. Woo! Let's go. Anyway, yeah, so I cycled it. I have it all on my. I actually presented it on my channel. Great ride, but it's not made for cyclists.
I'll tell you another spot that's awkward is when you come out of the bike path at St. Phillips and Weston Road.
Yeah.
You got to take the sidewalk there to get back onto the path. It's
Yeah.
up by just south of Wilson and Weston.
Yeah. Save the bike lanes. We're saving. Yeah. Blame it on Doug Ford. Yeah.
No more grifters.
Actually, you want to say hi to my viewers? They're probably wondering, who am I talking to?
Hello.
We met at a ghost bike rally.
Yeah. We're all the usual suspects of bike rallies.
Woo! It's a symphony of car horns.
Yeah, they're probably Doug Ford going.
Woohoo!
There's a really good book called Street Fighter.
Okay.
It was written by the woman who led the revamping of New York back in the 2000s.
Okay.
Where they put in separate lanes and green spaces, putting in seats and outdoor seating and taking areas that were like this, kind of dead spaces, and animating them. But they did it guerrilla style in some places where they just one weekend took an area of Broadway and down by Madison Square Garden. It was like a big triangle of
pavement.
Yeah.
One weekend they decided overnight to put in planters, umbrella tables, and benches, and it was full. And so they started to use that, and it got people into liking it and using it. And but they also built it all in data, and that's probably what the government doesn't want to listen to data.
Oh, right.
But they won over like really ardent opponents in some of the more outlying boroughs.
Let's move. It's going too slow. I'm going over here. I'm back. Yeah. Save the bike lanes! Okay. And I guess that's it. Sherburne? Okay.
Just keep going. Don't slow down.
All right. Now. And then what? Are we gonna lay on the ground like we're dead? Well, that could happen if the.
Duckford doesn't care to land dead on the ground for real anyway.
We should be riding to his house.
That's what I said. I said we're preaching to the choir.
And bring him a.
We should have taken this ride out on the section of bike lanes where they don't want it.
We should bring him a buck of beer. Save our bike lanes! Save our bike lanes! Woo! Save our bike lanes! Woo! Woo! Make some noise! Oh no! I got rammed into by a stupid cyclist. Oh, not today, but over at where was it? Palmerston and Dundas. Mind you, it was bumper to bumper. There was a big truck.
I gotta say,
blocked.
I started using Palmerston more now from Richmond up to since they added the bike signals there. Again, right? Like it just made it easier because I used to go to Euclid all the time. That was sort of my north-south route.
Okay.
Euclid or Claremont or Bellwood, but you still had to wait at Dundas to play Frogger with the cars that are gonna cross.
Well, there's a traffic light there now.
There is now.
But that's where it happened too. The stupid cyclist rammed me the other way. He goes, "Oh, he assumed that nobody was coming." I said, "Don't you friggin' assume."
Well, that happened to me. You know where it happened sometimes?
I got it on my live stream too.
You know those little intersections like between Dufferin Mall.
Yeah.
I think 10 on.
Yeah.
Those little deuce in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've almost been smoked there by someone going through the stop.
But those are amateurs, man.
Yeah,
I call them. You know.
They're the same people that butt in front of me at a light after I smoked them a block ago. and then I'm like, oh yeah, really?
You don't assume. What if I was a pedestrian? It was my green. It wasn't his red.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
We need a rally for better cyclists.
I'm not that like. I'm just cautious too, right? Like I can't say.
You know what? I've been riding downtown since the '80s, so it's like, I'm old. But
well,
you know,
I'm the same too, but I mean, like.
And I feel like that I find there's more aggressive driving now than there was back in the day. Because back in the day, there wasn't that many people living downtown.
That's right.
Like I used to work in the clubs, and there was only like 5 clubs everybody went to. And,
which ones did you go
I worked
to?
at the Phoenix. I worked at
Oh, the Phoenix.
Living Room.
What about Voodoo Club?
Oh my God, you're dating yourself.
La Tube.
Well, I worked for
La Tube. Do you remember La Tube?
No, I moved to Toronto in '87. And
well, no, because back then they didn't card me. I was getting in at like 16.
Yeah. Well, so I worked for the Esteem Brothers at Living Room. They're the ones that started the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. They basically, those guys they brought houses into Toronto. I worked a lot. I looked at like Fluid Government when it first opened.
Yeah.
I worked at Leaf Palace.
Voodoo Club. No, there was Domino's.
Domino's I missed.
And then I had some.
I went to other Johnny K clubs.
And then my gay friends would take me to.
Did you go to Comrades?
No, Katrina's on St. Joseph.
Yeah, well,
Katrina's.
That's where it became
Chaps.
Yeah,
the barn.
Yeah, the barn. Yeah, Woody's, all those places. And a lot of after hours around that.
Oh yeah, speakeasies.
Yeah, I'd say because when I worked at Phoenix, we used to go to Comrades, which is a gay bar, and they would do a drag show at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I saw my Virgin Eye saw some drag shows at Katrina.
By the way, when homophobes would come downtown and catcall people lining up in St. Charles.
Oh yeah, Charlie's, I think, isn't it? Charles.
St. Charles Tavern. It's that fire hall clock tower.
Now it's a condo. I know. Yeah. Woo! Save the bike lanes! Whoa, they're making noise over here now. This really disturbs the traffic along here.
Well, we're making the message is being heard.
Ah. Save our bike lanes!
You know what? I went on. You know what's one rally or bike ride I went on where was the Jarvis bike ride in 2011.
Okay.
It was part of. It was like I think 450 cyclists on that ride, and then that's when they moved them off Jarvis to.
Ah.
Because the Rosedale and Leaside people were happy. All the John Tory voters.
So they organized police officers, so they had to. That's not free. They have to pay them.
Well, my only hope with this is Libya and the mayor, like Andrew Horvath and the mayor of Waterloo, the 3 mayors that are fighting back against this move.
Yeah.
Because glad you came to the rally. You're not going to ride your bike.
It's for everyone, as I'm going to go into the curb here.
No, I like the bike range. I'm going to start my own YouTube channel.
Oh, there's already a few of those out there already.
Brad, bike rage. Yeah, I used to, for a few years, up until 6 years ago, they didn't renew the contracts for the company I was working with.
Okay.
So I used to run the beer garden at Pride every year, right beside, right across from Woody.
Yeah.
Between Alexander and Maitland.
Uh-huh.
We used to get all the best house DJs in there.
Yeah. Save our bike lanes! I don't know. I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah.
Now they're going, is that Shooter?
No, Wellesley.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they go back to the UC. That, if you take that straight across, it takes you into the Queen's Park.
Oh, maybe Queen's Park.
Yeah, there we go. Back to
yeah,
towards,
but
front yard.
you know, we should be having these protests or rallies
We should be in front of the Etobicoke
weekly.
City Hall.
Weekly.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was suggesting?
Before
the bike lanes out is every week during rush hour on a Friday.
Yeah.
We have a ride like this across where the bike lanes used to be.
Yeah.
Just to show you that
Yeah.
even though the bike lanes aren't here, the bikes are
Yeah.
still here. That's what they don't understand. Even with the bike lanes, the cyclists are still exist. They don't erase it. They just erase the bike lanes.
Yeah. But again, along University, there's some ugly planters there.
Oh,
They're like so wide
I'm
that
with
like
you on that. You're
they
preaching
need
to the choir there.
they need to rip that out and replace it with the bike lane,
Yeah.
and then give back
I
the
suggest
roads.
that we build a tunnel.
No, I don't. No.
That's what Doug Ford likes tunnels. So maybe they say we'll tunnel the bike lane.
Maybe tunnel to his
We'll
house.
put the bike lane beside the
Ugh,
center line.
I don't want no tunnel. It'd be so dangerous.
Well, I'm just saying because it's a ridiculous
No.
idea. It's ridiculous that Ford wanted to tunnel underneath the car.
No, we not. No, if that's okay, they need to build above ground, not underground. They need a monorail. I've been wanting I want a monorail. What?
Monorail.
Yes. I want a monorail. Like Germany, they have a nice. Oh, that monorail is. People might think it looks gross, like ugly. I think it looks cool, and that's been around for like a long time.
Like an elevated bike.
But a monorail, like or something like more bridges, more like.
I think we should go like full Jetson, like jet.
I mean, like if you look at New York and all that, they have. At first, you think those above ground systems are ugly, but they're useful. They did it for a reason. Okay, so now we're on Wellesley going west. I'm talking to my viewers. They're just watching and listening to us talk here.
What do you think going on about? We want the Matlock Freeway.
Now we're on we're gonna go across Jarvis.
An area where they did rip up the bike.
Yeah. I don't go along. But yeah, you should watch the way I cycled down Black Creek Drive. Maybe I crossed by one other cyclist that was riding on the sidewalk. One
ride called Brushes with Death on your bike.
One pedestrian, two pedestrians at the most in that ride.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Car.
Like, look at this. We don't need this planter. Make it into a bike lane. Look at the weeds here.
Yeah.
Look at the ugly weeds.
Yeah.
That,
I say we have a law against ugly weeds.
Stupid. Oh, everything I try to post on my, and I do call, and then plus I post it on X, Twitter, 311 Toronto. They answer, save the bike lanes! So the little kid. Woo!
Here's some irony for you.
Get off the bike lane!
Good weather for it.
Yeah.
Although today is the first morning it started to feel like that winter bite where it takes about 10 minutes of riding to warm up. You know where there's like that first 10 minutes like,
I know.
should I put an extra layer on? And then like 20 minutes in you're like, maybe I've got one too many layers.
Yeah, that's me too. I was like, had to peel off my layers.
It's like either one too many layers or one layer not enough.
Yeah, it's the wind that sets me back. Oh, the wind. Who's yelling?
We got like a load.
Oh. Oh, she's. Well, we do. Everyone does both, but
paid for by the re-election campaign for Doug Ford.
We're reaching Yonge Street now.
Get rid of the planters. No more planters.
And then they go, but the flowers, but the trees. Yeah, you can use. We can. But we can use the weeds as a divider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we going through?
It looks like it.
Go through, guys.
Okay, he's waiting on the street.
Woo! Save our bike lanes! Okay, now I'm getting hungry. I'm working up an appetite. Oh yeah. The tube was in this alley, St. Nicholas.
I briefly lived at 25 St. Nicholas at the school.
Oh yeah?
Alley here. Yeah,
Well,
in
La Tube was there. Now it, yeah.
When I was living there in 2000, it was still just a couple years removed from Joy Club.
Yeah.
It was around in 5, which was the one on Jones there.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep in mind there was Fly Nightclub. Yeah, those places.
And then there was happy hour at restaurants. Oh.
And then also
But then-
cold tea in Chinatown.
Yeah, cold tea. I never had. No, I didn't. My parents did.
But yeah, I did a cold tea thing. Because our thing was like Singh or Chinatown.
Save our bike lanes.
Save our cold tea.
Save our cold tea.
I want the teapot of beer.
Was it just beer or scotch?
No, it's beer.
Johnny Walker was the thing back then for my father.
Really?
Johnny Walker Red Label.
Oh God, that's harsh stuff.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't drink much.
And then he would drive after.
Oh no.
With me in the back.
Well,
And no
the
seatbelts.
first Chinatown place I ever went to back when I was a kid in the 70s.
And no seatbelt rules back then.
Lychee Gardens.
Oh, that catered to the low fun, meaning white.
Yeah, it was. It was totally white people Chinese restaurant.
Did you get your chicken balls?
Oh my God. So yeah, it was years later.
And chop
actually
suey.
having lived downtown, like after that, where I learned about real Chinese food.
Right.
But no, it's totally white people. It's just like when people go for curry in England, right? That's like the white people's version of England.
Oh, is it?
Well, they had. Well, was it chicken? Is it chicken tikka masala or what are those dishes?
I thought it was butter chicken.
Yeah, butter chicken. I think is the chop suey of Indian food. Like it's the English Anglified.
Oh.
Dish.
Uh huh.
They thought they could please European palates with butter chicken.
Okay. Right there. Queen's Park. Woo! Just making sure I'm not running out of battery. I always get a message, low battery, and then I plug it in. But I should plug it in soon. Cobblestone. Woo! Look at, oh wow!
I didn't know we were ending up at Queen's Park.
Yeah, I think we're just winging it.
Yeah.
But I want to get a picture
Yeah, me too.
over here. Let's capture the moment. Holy, we got to see the bikes. My apologies, I haven't acknowledged a lot of people because I've been focusing on the protests here. But I want to... Where'd he go? Okay. Okay, good. All right, we're back here at Queen's Park now. Just getting a good view of all the cyclists here. Quite an amazing turnout. Oh, sorry.
I think that's it.
Yep. Now it's time for me to get some food. Should ride down. Oh, you should be riding down University
I agree.
too.
I think that would be the most symbolic way to end it.
Next one.
All the way down there, and then go
Like
up
go
Young.
down
Actually,
and
or
we
should
could
go
go down
Young.
and back up.
Go on Young and then up University. End it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the next one. Look at all the cyclists. Amazing.
Well, I'm impressed with the turnout.
Yeah, yeah, good turnout for sure.
And a diverse crowd too. It's I always thought for the longest time the cycle community was pretty white.
And the weather turned out good because I thought it was going to rain.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. What am I doing? Am I ending? Starting a new one?
I'm trying to plot my way back across town.
What direction do you go?
I live by Ronceville Harbor Park.
Oh, my old neighborhood.
Yeah, I lived
Close neighborhood.
on Constant Street.
Okay.
Right opposite where the hardware store is. Like, you know, the T intersection where the Paul's hardware store is? Beside the music school.
Oh, right there. Right,
Yeah,
all right.
so-
All right.
My friends bugged me for coffee. They gave me a Union Island.
Okay,
I
cool.
can really see it from my back there. Oh my God.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's become pretty bougie that way.
Uh-huh. Awesome.
All right,
Well, good to see you.
You too.
Maybe we'll catch each other on the next one.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. Have a good ride.
You too. Cheers. All right. I know I need to charge you guys, but let me just say hello to everyone. So this is more of a protest than a, well, what's the difference? Protest and rally. Anybody? EO 121 orange bike. What passed you? I don't know. I didn't see it. So, welcome to women. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Ruben, thank you for being here. Peter, Norman, big hugs. TBS, big hugs. Who else has been here? Dawn, big hugs to you too. Wasim, hello. And Picard, I think I said it. Hi to everybody out. Thank you so much for being here. Armchair, thank you so much. Okay, now I think I want to end this one and start a new one with a new title. I don't want to. Yeah. All right. And then I'll come back on and we'll figure out what to eat. I'm not too hungry. I ate before I left home. I made the beef, barley, and rice soup. Now we're up close to Queen's Park. All right. It's a rally, but also protesting. Ah, okay. Thank you, T. All right. Well, at least it was a peaceful one, right? It didn't cause too much of a stir. Okay. Whoa, too close. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks for joining me on this protest to save the bike lanes here in Toronto. Hopefully we'll win this. And hopefully we can keep riding safely. Thank you. I'll be on again. We're gonna start a new one. Thanks TBS, Ruben, Dave from Niagara Falls. Thanks Peter, John, everyone. Two women. Everyone that I said hi to, thank you. I can't go. Norman, thank you. Big hugs, everyone. We'll come back on and go for a bike ride and who knows what. Okay. So much for watching. Thanks for an awesome live stream. Well, I'm not going to say goodbye because we will be on shortly. I want to start a new one. Okay. Go have your bathroom break. Make a snack. I'll be back on in shortly, very shortly. Take a picture, get my thumbnail, and then come back on. Bye. Ending.